Namaste to all. This is a course on the Vrata. We will talk on the Vratas. What are the Vratas? Which in English means the vows. Vrata means vows. It is a Sanskrit word. So the Vratas are here will be studied under the notion of the 5 vows, the 5 vrata, because they are very, we can say they are very shortly crisping. We can say a lot of universal concepts of vrata, and they are found in the 2 texts that we are studying a lot in Prāṇāvāya Science, which are the Tattvārthasūtra and the Yoga-sūtra that you know both. You know them both. Do you see what we are talking about? Okay.
Yes.
So, perfect. So, the 5 vows, or the 5 Mahābhārata, are the Vrata or Mahābhārata is the term given in Tattvārthasūtra or in Ahiṃsā Dharma literature. And in the Yoga-Sutra, you will find the terms of the 5 yama. So the 5 yama, which are also termed as Mahābhārata. So the Mahābhārata is a term that is matching to Yoga-Sutra and Tattvārthasūtra. And then the notion of Vrata is only in Tattvārthasūtra, and the notion of yama is only in Yoga-Sutra. This is very interesting and very important. You will see it later, because yama is a term if you want to do a research, for example, in some encyclopedia on what is the vows in we can say Hindu or Sanatan Dharma literature, or in general Indian literature. If you want to know about the vows, because you are habituated to the word vow, if you search in the encyclopedia at the term vow, you will not find anything. You will find everything under the term yama or under the term niyama. That is why I wanted to make it very clear for you. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, so the term of Yoga Sutra, yama, will guide you to do further research eventually in your life. So now, let us take a basic, very basic overview of what would define the term Vrata. So Vrata in Sanskrit, you will find different synonyms, in which the first one we have put yama, as you can see. Then the second we have put samyama. Then we have put nirodha, then yoga, and niyama and dhamma. So we have put these terms because, again, they are key terms for eventual research, and they are the terms that will be given in the beginnings of the most canonic literature. So yama is the term that you will find as the definition in Yoga Sutra, and yama in Ahiṃsā Dharma literature you will mostly find samyama. To replace the term yama, you will find samyama. You had a question? You had any question? No? Okay.
No.
Okay. And nirodha, you will find this in both Tattvārthasūtra and Yoga Sutra. And yoga can be a synonym of vrata in some aspect, but not in Tattvārthasūtra, only in Yoga Sutra. Niyama will be found mostly in Yoga Sutra, and Dhamma in general also is not found in Yoga Sutra, but is found in general in Sanatan Dharma literature. So these are the Sanskrit terms. One day we will, after we will little bit see their definition closer. Then in the Western language, if you want to search about the Vrata in Western language encyclopedia, then where do you have to search? You have to search by notably a word which is temperance. temperance is a word that is quite good to refer to the notions of vrata. In Wikipedia, for example, the page temperance refers to a lot of the vows. And temperance in English, of course, is a synonym of virtue. Even if it is one of the virtues, it is itself also a synonym of the word virtue itself. So now why we are seeing these terms, which are Western terms to define vow, because not only it will help you to do your research, but it will help you to do what we call the syncretism. That means the comparison between the Indian science and the Western science. Where you can find the matching points between both of them. So temperance is exactly, we can say, the meaning of, is one of the possible meaning. It's not, of course, it's not a literal meaning, it's a literary meaning. C'est un synonyme littéraire, not un synonyme littéral. Okay, it is literary synonym and not literally synonym, because of course if I say vrata, I will translate it by vow. It's a keyword of research of the same class of concept. You got it?
Yes.
You got what I mean? Okay. So temperance, where this term is very importantly used, and usually in Sanskrit, just to tell you, temperance is not the translation of vrata indeed, because it's the translation of dhamma. So sorry, I'm always a little bit too specific on terminology, but however, temperance is very important, and the great figures of temperance in the Western literature are Marcus Aurelius, Thomas d'Aquinas, or Saint Thomas d'Aquin in French, Montaigne Michel, Francis Bacon, John Milton, Blaise Pascal, Emmanuel Kant, John Stuart Mill, Charles Darwin. Okay, so these are examples of people who talk on temperance, and obviously the Bible, and obviously the Torah, and obviously probably it's found in Islamic literature. Also, so a synonymous concept, or something that belongs to the concept in the lexical field of vrata, is also obviously the 7 deadly sins. Les 7 péchés mortels, ou les 7 péchés capitaux, are the 7 heavenly virtues. So because they are indeed the exact similar concept of the vrata. In Greek literature, it is extremely studied also, and it is the concept of sophrosism, or sophrosune in Greek, which is a term found in Plato's literature, and it is also in the notion of the enkrateia in Greek, which is mostly the notion of vow in Aristotle literature. Then in modern movements, in very recent era, you have the temperance movement as an example, and you have the positive psychology, which are emphasizing on the importance of the human being to have self-control. Actually, what is temperance? It is we can say it is not an opposition, but it is a school which is not following hedonism. It is a school of philosophy which is differentiating itself from the idea of hedonism. It is something that will be either something that will be towards Epicureanism or towards Stoicism. or it is itself its own its own school by the name temperance or by the name Sophrosism, etc. But we can say the word philosophy itself, philosophy, to like wisdom, it's itself also a synonym of Vrata. Somebody who is a philosopher will be somebody who has taken Vrata, we can say. We did not put it here in the list, it could be added, isn't it? A philosopher, it should be indeed somebody who is a friend of Vrata. Okay, so this was for the syncretism. Now, what means yama in Sanskrit? Because yama, as I told you, it is your keywords to search in most of the Sanskrit dictionary or Sanskrit encyclopedia or Indian literature encyclopedia. So what means yama? And yama is a very interesting word because it means a rein, the rein of the charioteer or the charioteer. You know the rein, les rênes of the horse in the chariot.
Yes.
Yes. So yama means the reins because it comes from a verb, which is verb means dhatu in Sanskrit. The yama word comes from the verb yam. The verb means dhatu, so from the root yam. For the person who don't know, yam is also a root which has given so many words in all Indo-European language. That means in your French language or in your English language itself, the dhatu, the verb yam, as all the Sanskrit dhatu, are also roots of all the future words and derivation that you can find in your birth languages. So it's very interesting. So we have said one of the allegorical translation of the word yam is a rein, as the rein of the chariot, because your senses will be like horses, wild horses, and you should be the philosopher, the temperate philosopher, holding the reins of your horses to control them. So, as I was telling you also yesterday, we are two. There is ourself which is inside the chariot, and there is ourself which is the wild horse. We have an inside child and we have an inside adult. You know, we are always two in ourselves. So in the same way, here we use yam as the rein. That means the yam, the rein, the yama is the link between your internal child, your wild horses of the senses, and between your, we can say, your true self, or the part of self inside of you which is more permanent, which is your reason, your reasoning part. Do you follow?
Yeah.
Is it clear for both?
No, Clara is saying no with her face.
C'est pas grave, it's not true. That's right.
Okay.
Je réécouterai après, pas de souci, continuez.
Okay. If you have a precise question, you don't hesitate. We can explain. We can explain again. Do you find any question?
Non, David vient de m'expliquer en 3 mots et du coup j'ai
Perfect.
J'ai raccroché, c'est bon.
Okay. So the yama is the link between your internal child or your wild horse that is your senses, your desires, your passions, your emotions, and the self, which is more permanent part of you, which is like the reasoning part of you, the adult part inside you. And we can also remember, that in Sigmund Freud, in the psychic apparatus of Sigmund Freud, you have the self and you have the id. Id means the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind is also this wild horse. You see, in all the aspects you can understand this concept. So the true self, the self inside of you, if you consider the Freud literature, has to hold the subconscious mind, or all the part of yourself which is not a permanent or something which is under the power of your reason, of your mind clarity, of your mind when it is peaceful actually. So I gave you all the synonyms roughly of yam, of the verb yam. It means to jug, to check, to curve, to restrain, to control, to subdue, to stop, and to suppress. It is very important to suppress. We should suppress ourselves. Today I was leading the bull back to home and I was holding my stick to control the bull, and I was thinking, it is exactly this. Yama is exactly like this stick. We should always keep a stick in our hand, because if we don't keep the stick ourselves, then the life will will kick us when we do too much step outside of what we should be doing. So suppress is not a negative word. Suppress something is just to come back to the true self. So it's very interesting, this term suppress. And why this term is so important is that it is also a synonym. It is there that the synonym of yama comes to the synonym to the words nirodha. When you will study Patanjali, Yoga-sūtra of Patañjali, you will be very happy to know this term, because the first sutra in the Yoga-sūtra of Patañjali, you know, it is the most popular and the most ancient text on yoga. And Tattvārthasūtra is also the most ancient text on yoga, but it is not popular. But it is beautiful, and it is also containing the word nirodha. So the first verse in Patanjali Yoga Sutra is the definition of what is yoga. When we want to know what is yoga, we open the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali and we see Yogash Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yogash Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So that means that yoga is the nirodha. So yoga in self, the definition of yoga means exactly yama and means also nirodha. Okay? He does not say, he could have said yogash chitta vritti yamaha. But here he did not choose the word yama, he chose the word nirodha. And because nirodha means to suppress, to control. So yoga is the nirodha, is the control over the vritti of the chitta. Okay? That means over the vritti of the chitta, it means we can say the whirling, the revolving, le tourbillon de la pensée in French. The revolving of chitta. Chitta means the thought. Vritti means the revolving, le tourbillon. So yoga is the restraint, the control on the revolving, on the tourbillon of the thought, of the chitta. Okay? So this is the definition of yoga as per Patanjali Yoga Sutra. I did not put it because you can find it easily, but if you want, we will put it in your PowerPoint. There is another definition of yama that I liked a lot when I was a child, and I preferred this definition when I was a child, and I like to believe that yama meant to extend and to stretch. Why I like this? Because there is the word pranayama. You have heard the word pranayama, no?
Yes.
So the word pranayama has the word yama inside. And I wanted to think that it does not only means to control the prana, it meant to extend the prana. But actually it's also true. Of course, pranayama literally can mean to control or to subdue or to stop the breath, but it could mean also to extend the breath or to stretch it. So this is also an interesting concept, which is which should be complementary. It is not this or that, it is this and that. Yama means and to check, and to curb, and to restrain, and to raise, and to extend, and to stretch, and to offer, and to give. Today, one of my favorite definitions of yama is to offer and to give, and to bestow. And I will tell you what, because vrata means to give. And I will put you this in your PDF later, in your PowerPoint later, that what is the definition of vrata? I will tell you after more in details. It is to give. Vrata is something that you gift, that you will give to somebody. It is the present that you do to all the living being in the world. In the world. So that is anugrahartam svasyati sargo danam. This is the but last verse, which is in the chapter 7 of the Tattvārthasūtra, to define what means the term of giving, givingness. Givingness is the vow, actually. So it's a very beautiful definition of yama. Because you suppress, you give. And because you give, you support. Because you support, you raise. And because you raise, you extend and you stretch. And then you go and you reach liberation. And you exhibit, because you enlighten all the other living beings at that time. So if you see all the definition of the word yama, you have all the we have all the process actually that will occur by following the vrata themselves. It's very interesting.
Dominique,
Yes.
can you explain more the notion of extend? Why all of that nous amène à
Extend, you have to
lead
think.
us à
Thank you. It's a very good question. I think I got your question. Why the concept of extend? I'm so thankful that you asked this question. It's a brilliant question, actually.
Pourquoi ça nous amène à cette
Because
cette
if you
notion?
do the yama, what you will extend, the first thing you want to extend is your darshana, your vision. You want to see all the side of the elephant. I completely forgot to tell you. Of course, I had forgotten to tell you. You had to ask the question. I'm so thankful, Bhagini. Yeah, you want to extend. You want to extend, first of all, your darshana, and then you want to extend who you are. And who you are the three ratna: darshan, jnana, and charitra. Sorry, Bharata, we will explain you what it is.
I got it.
You got it. Okay, great.
I will explain him.
Great.
Non, j'ai expliqué.
You taught me already.
Great. So you want to extend your powers, because what is the definition of a soul? You should always remember what is the definition of a soul. A soul is a jiva, means jiva in Sanskrit. We can say jiva for the soul. It is the living beingness inside of you. When the more we are free of our karma, the more will the self express its potentials. And when it expresses its potentials, it becomes slowly, mostly acquiring four qualities: Ananta Darshan, that means infinite vision, ananta jnana, infinite knowledge, ananta charitra, infinite self-control and conduct, and ananta virya, infinite energy, infinite power. So this is how it extends. But extent, first you think of your ananta darshan, that suddenly, because you follow the yama, because you have suppressed your passion, you will acquire the vision of all the sides of the elephant, and suddenly you will understand all the living being. I will tell you a very beautiful story also that I did not put in your PowerPoint also, because actually I realized that this poor PowerPoint misses a lot, but at least I gave you orally. So that when one of the first powers of a yogi described in Yoga-sūtra of Patañjali is that the yogi, it is not his first powers, because in the chapter 3 actually of this Patanjali Yoga Sutra, you will have a lot on the siddhis, on the superpowers that attains the yogi. By doing yoga we can have so many superpowers, so it's great, it's very exciting. So in the superpowers, the second that gave Patanjali, you will be mesmerized, you will be amazed. You want to guess which one it was? No, you have no time to guess. I will tell you immediately. It is the fact to read the mind of the animals, to understand the language, not to read the mind, to understand the language of the animals. The most important for Patanjali to be a great yogi was to understand the powers of animal. Of course you can understand this because you came to the jungle. Obviously when you are a yogi, you should be in the jungle, and you should be almost naked in a small house of leaf, what we call a kutia, or of grass, as it is here also. So you will be in your kutia, and you will be very happy if you understand the language of animals, because there are so many roars around you, so many voices of animals, and it's very useful to know their languages. But it's also a way to love. I mean, this is one example why we want to extend the vision, and this is one example. But another example, in the Tattvārthasūtra, in the sutra number something between 5, 6, 10, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, it is all the types of knowledge. What are the types of knowledge in Tattvārthasūtra? It is Mati, Shruta, Avadi, Manaparyaya and Kevala. They are the 5 types of knowledge, and that means that the 4th type of knowledge in the Tattvārthasūtra is to read the mind of others. And in the superpowers that will acquire the yoga, it will come just after. In the list below the understanding all the roars of the animals, you will also be able to read the mind of anybody. So yes, it's so important. Because you subdue, because you suppress, because you follow the Vrata-s, because you follow the yamas, you will extend notably your darshana, and you will open your heart. Because what is compassion if you don't understand exactly what is feeling the other? Or why you are feeling like this also? Because of course if you extend your vision, if you understand all this, is because you understand yourself. We should remember that we will talk on Ahiṃsā. So Ahiṃsā, it is as much as for others, as much as for yourself. Because we know that parasparo pagraho jivanam. Because your happiness depends on all the happiness of living beings, and all the happiness of living beings depends on your happiness. The definition of life is the reciprocity of beneficency. This is what it means. Parasparopagraho jivanam. This is the sutra number 5, number 21 in the chapter 5 of Tattvārthasūtra. Okay? So this is why it extends. So from this question, I hope it is little bit more clear, even if it is a lot of concept at the same time. Is it clear little bit?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. There is also something very interesting here, is that in the definition of yama, again in Sanskrit, if you open simply any Sanskrit definition of yama, Sanskrit dictionary on the definition of yama, you will find this definition that yama is the god of death. But the god of death means also the god of dharma. And yama means also so the god of dharma, who is also called the dharma raja, the king of the dharma. So this is very interesting, because dharma, we can say, is also itself maybe one synonymous of yama. Okay, so having said this, we will see that this yama, as I was telling you, will be found in so many texts. And the 5 vrata under the term yama will be found notably in the Upanishad literature. So I was very enthusiastic to find you all the types of Upanishad in which these terms are found. So I put you the list of the Upanishads, and in the other yoga and other Sanskrit literature or other Indian literature in which these vows and this vrata are found. So they are found in here we have said we have given a list of 10, because usually in this literature you will find 10 of them. So 10 of them, here they are. You cannot see in one time, or you can see almost. So when you have 10 of them, they are Ahiṃsā, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, that you already know, and added to the notion of Kshama, Dhruti, Daya, Arjava, and Mitahar. So here in notably three texts, you will have these 10. That means in Shandilya Upanishad, in Varaha Upanishad, and in Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is such a very, very famous text in yoga, very important text. And this list will be a little bit modified in 60 texts. You will have 60 texts, approximately 60 texts, in all Indian literature, enumerating around this 10 yama. Can you imagine how important it is? And in this 60 text, in the bottom, I wrote you 11 of them, which are very important and which have notably almost exactly these tense. I did not study at all them, so I did not study them, so I'll not be able to be very precise, but just to give you an idea, you'll have the list just below. So I put you a small comparison though, that is very interesting also, because in the Tattvārthasūtra still you have also a list of 10 qualities, which are called the Dharma Lakshana, the 10 Dharma Lakshana. That means the 10 characteristics. Lakshana means characteristics of the Dharma. And we can roughly try to compare them to these 10 yama, because we have seen that yama means also Dharma Raja, isn't it? in the definition of yama, I told you it's a synonym of dharma raja, of course, and it's a synonym of dharma, we can say itself. And so it's interesting to see the dashana lakshana, of course, compared to the to this yama. Okay, so having been said this, there is also in Manu-Samhita 10 virtues that you will find also, and I could have put more. But Manu-Samhita, why I have selected also Manu-Samhita to show you this, because here in Manu-Samhita, I forgot to write in Manu-Samhita, it is the yama. It is mostly it is termed as niyama. It is not termed as yama. I think it was termed by niyama. We should check. No, I'm not sure. We will check. But at least they are terms as 10 virtues, and these virtues are a little bit similar to the one that we have seen above. And I just wanted to tell you for your knowledge and just to prepare you and to habituate you with this word. One of the terms he gave is, in the 10 virtues, he gave akrodha. Akrodha means without krodha.
Colère.
Yes, free from anger. So it's very important because akrodha is a synonym of ahimsa. And what is very interesting in this Manu-Samhita is that he's giving a long list of virtue, and then he's saying that there is a crisp list, there is a shorter list that can be given of virtue, and he's giving it. And in this short list, he gave 5 virtues again, and of course he put it ahimsa, and he put it asteya, he put it saucha, and he put it satyam, and he added dhamma, which we can compare to parigraha and saucham. We could compare to brahmacharya if we want. Okay? So out of the subject, but not really exactly out of the subject, because it matches some aspects. It is a small note. Varaha Upanishad, or Varaha, is one of the Upanishad in which you found clearly the 10 virtues as I showed you in the table. And it is quite interesting because in this Upanishad, Varaha Upanishad, Varaha is one of the Upanishads which bears the names of Vishnu, because Varaha is the 3rd incarnation of the god Vishnu in Indian pantheon. And another definition of the word Varaha, because Varaha, in Sanskrit means that which comes from the boar, le sanglier. That which comes from the boar, it means sometimes the boar itself, Varaha. Otherwise it is Varaha. So that which comes from the boar, because one of the incarnation of Lord Vishnu took the form of a boar, of a sanglier. Okay? And an interesting fact also is that this Varaha is the name of a species that we are preserving here in the forest, a species of tuber, which is giving what we call here in Ahiṃsā for the little joke, it is the flying potato. It is a potato which is flying in the air. which is not exactly flying. It is hanging on a veil which climbs quite nicely, and it is called Dioscorea, and it is one of the term of Varaha. So I was happy to talk on it, because endangered species which are so important, as always, nice to remember, and people can be curious and try to find them and help to grow them. Because it's a very good food and it's a very good medicine. It's really a medicinal food, and it is very important for human survival in the future and for now also. So having been said this, we go to just the list, but we'll just go ahead because this is the part which took most of time to do, but this is the part that we will go that we will little bit fly over because you can read it after. Just it is the list of the text in which you can find all this yama in the Sanatana Dharma literature. But it's very interesting. As I was telling you, there are around 60 texts in which you find this list of yama, or this, we can say, this list of vrata. Don't forget that we are in the synonym word. And in this 60 texts, you have 11 which are very important and which have the most common similarities, and which have the list of 10. Which are given just below, as you can see, Shandya Upanishads, etc., and the famous Varaha Upanishad, and the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, etc., etc. Okay? So, this is it. Now we go to the subject, the big subject. So, now we want to study what are the components of the Mahābhārata. So I have not put you the Sutra of Yoga-sūtra. In this, neither I have put you the Sutra of Tattvārthasūtra, but I will tell you. So, Ahiṃsā, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Yamaha. So this is the exact Sutra of Yoga-sūtra. And in the Tattvārthasūtra, and this you will find in the chapter 2 of Yoga-sūtra, this sutra, as well as these verses, which are just below, this. So yes, it will be in the chapter 2. It will be the sutra number 30. I suppose, because this one is 31, so it's just before. I think. We may check, but it should be this. So in Tattvārthasūtra, it is almost the same, but it is slightly different. So I will tell you, and you will learn it also, because it's very beautiful. It is Himsa Nrittasteya Brahma Parigrahebhyo Virati Vratam. Himsa Nrittasteya Brahma Parigrahebhyo Virati Vratam. So the words are not exactly the same, but they are exactly the synonyms. And here we say that the Vrata is the virati of this 5. So Vrata means the virati. Virati means again yama, means to control, the control, virati, of the 5 elements. So a vow is the control of 5 elements, which are, we will control over violence, we will control over truthfulness, we will control we will control the notion of stealing, we will control the notion of abrahma, which is we can say conduct which is outside what is proper for the, we can say, alignment of ourself, for the following the alignment of ourself, the Brahma, and Parigraha, which is the enjoyments of the senses, we can say, or what we commonly say like the possessiveness. But it is, we can say, the possessiveness of, we can say, the control over the senses also, we can say, mostly, it's quite difficult. We will translate it slowly together and see in details what it means. So this is the way that Tattvārthasūtra expresses it. So, and the way of Yoga Sutra is to say that non-violence and truthfulness and non-stealingness and we say usually chastity and finally the minimalism or the non-possessivity are the definition of yama. But here we say it indirectly also. So both are very beautiful sutra. So now we have to indeed to be a master of ethics, to understand these 5. Whatever happens, we have to understand these 5, and it will take us a lifetime to understand them, but we will try to understand them today itself. Little bit more. So to understand them, I took Yoga-Sutra in your PowerPoint here. First, I wanted to study the 5 Vrata in the Yoga-Sutra with you today. So below these 5 notions of non-violence, truthfulness, non-stealingness, chastity, and minimalism. I'm taking their usual definition because if we go in details, then we are not in the capacity to say them. But are you comfortable with the Sanskrit terms? Can I say Ahiṃsā, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Parigraha? It's easy for you? You will follow the same?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. So I will say it in Sanskrit, because otherwise translating it is really cutting the real meaning of it. It's impossible to translate in one word because they are huge concepts. So just below these 5 is giving a shloka which is very beautiful, is given a sutra, most precisely it's given a sutra in Yoga Sutra which is absolutely beautiful. It is saying that these 5 yamas are the Mahābhārata. So it is exactly matching what says Tattvārthasūtra. They completely agree. They completely agree on everything in Yoga Sutra and Tattvārthasūtra. They are really helping one another too much. So they are the Mahābhārata. Mahābhārata means the great vow. Vrata means vow, and Maha means great. So they are the great vow, and they are Sarvabhauma. They are Sarvabhauma, and they are Jati, Desha, Kala, Samaya, Anavachinna, and Mahābhauma. So that means that, so Jati, Desha, Kala, Samaya, Anavachinna. I did not reread its definition. I will tell you just fast what it means. Simply speaking, no matter what is your jati, that means no matter what is, we can say, the form that you have in this life. Jati means the species, usually. So if you are an animal, if you belong to the animal realm, if you belong to the human realm, if you belong to the mammal, if you belong to the reptile, this is the jati, the species. But it could be also if you belong to the jati, we can say, if you belong to a family of tailor, if you belong to a family of farmer. All this is can be also said as a jati. And we can say also in your past life, you were not a jati, because you must have been a fish. So no matter what is the jati, okay, no matter what is, what was, what your jati and anybody's jati. Desha means the place, wherever you are. So no matter who in what form you are, no matter wherever, desha, wherever you are, kala, whatever time you belong, whether you belong to the past time, whether you live in a cave as a Stone Age person, or whether you live in New York City. So no matter what is the time you pertain, you believe to, you belong to. And so this is Kala. And Samaya, no matter what time it is, what season it is, what instant it is, what circumstances it is, no matter the circumstances, Anavachinna, it cannot break, it cannot change, it cannot be chinna means chid, means to pierce. It cannot be pierced, it cannot be you cannot go through. You see what I mean? So no matter all these things, sarva bhauma, in any bhauma means the bhumi, in any field, sarva means all. It is from all the fields, it is universal. So this vrata, no matter how, no matter where, it is universal. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing that should make us trespass from these 5 golden rules. We should never justify. Why it is saying this? Because it wants to address all the cognitive biases that we have to trespass, to rape, to overflow out of this beautiful life, infinite powers giving jewels. Okay? Is it so this is what the sutra says. He says, don't find any excuse. Don't find any excuses. Don't find any reason. Anytime you will find a reason for not following these 5 vows, if you find any reason, it's not a good reason. Even if you say, I have to cross this vow, I have to cross this I have to do violence. There is, for example, a very famous cognitive bias in the society. It will say that, if you want to be integrated in the society, you have to do violence. If you want to not get excluded, if you want to work, if you want to do this, if you want to help, you have to do violence. It's not true. It's not true. You are never obliged to do violence. You are never obliged to come out of the truth. You are never obliged to do any exception to these vows. Never. Ever. And you should always have faith in this. So this is why this verse is given, and you have to study again and again, because this verse is absolutely beautiful. Okay? After the 2 next verses, we will study them fast. Vitarka bādane pratipaksha bhavanam. So vitarka himsadaya krita karita anumodita lobha krodha moha purvaka mridum madhya adimatra dukkha Jnanam anantaphala iti pratipaksha bhavanam. So, little bit fast speaking, it is explaining us how what will happen and what is happening when we indeed trespass to these 5 vows. So Ahiṃsā-Āyurveda, when we do vitarka of himsa, etc., when we go opposite, when we think opposite to himsa, etc., whether we do krita, whether we do karita, whether we do anumodita. This is what we say, that they are the 3 ways to yes, it is really matching with the verse of Tattvārthasūtra. I will tell you after. So there are 3 ways to do violence or any wrong thing regarding these 5 vows. They are here given. See here, krita, karita, anumodita. These are the 3 ways. Krita means if you do yourself by your own action. Karita means if you do wait 1 second. Yes. If you karita, if you make to do by somebody, and anumodita, if you approve somebody who is doing. That means to do violence, etc., whether it is by yourself, whether it is by asking somebody to do, by procuration, either it is by approving somebody who have done, or eventually disapproving. It is giving an opinion on something. Okay? So this is the 3 means, the 3 ways you can also be involved into himsa, etc. Himsa-Āyurveda. Okay? Himsa, etc. can be also created by these 3 things. And then from where it will come? It will come from lobha, krodha, moha. It will come from or lobha, or krodha, or moha. Purvaka means it full of krodha, or full of lobha, or full of moha. So this is very important, because here it is saying that from it will come, so either by the 3 ways to do, making to do or doing yourself, etc., and it will come also from moha, krodha, and lobha. That means it will come from the 3 passions. Yesterday, indeed, we were speaking, you remember when we were speaking on emotions? I told you, when your brain has an emotion, it is not able to think long term. So these are 3 main emotion according to Patanjali. So you will come out of the vows because of emotions. So lobha means the emotion of likingness, krodha means the emotion of anger or dislikingness, and moha is the emotion of delusion. When you start to distort reality with your eyes, you are not seeing the things as they are. Okay? And these 5 vows will also be broken in 3 manners, because either it will be broken mridu, little bit, madhya, medium, and adimatra means a lot. Matra is the measure. Matra, measure. It is the translation exactly of matra. So mridu means little bit, madhya means medium, It's easy. It is very close in the sound. And adimatra means in excess. So either your anger or your emotions can be of different types. They can be very intense. They can be, and your Ahiṃsā, etc., can be also in the same way. They can be intense, or they can be mild, or they can be moderate. And then the last, dukkha, ajnana, ananta phala, and it will always result in one and the same thing. It will always give the phala. Phala means fruit. It will always give the fruit of dukkha, of the pain, and ajnana, that means ignorance. So it will always give the fruit of the stick. It will always give the fruit. If you don't hold the stick in your hand, the stick will come on your head anyhow, in the form of, if you don't hold your reins, if you don't hold your yama, it will fall on your head as the dukkha, the pain, and of the ignorance, and it's infinite, ananta, it's infinite phala, fruit. Okay, so this is the pratipaksha bhavana. So if your existence, if your beingness, bhavana, is pratipaksha, is opposite, pratipaksha. Paksha means the side. Prati means opposite. So if it goes opposite to this paksha, to the side, like recto verso, we say. So if it is verso from Ahiṃsā, etc., it will result in all these things, and it is of all these types. Okay. So this is a little bit a study, very very fast study of the sutra which follows this in Yoga Sutra, and then I put it for you in this, the 5 sutras that are defining, in which Patanjali, our great yogi Patanjali, has given us the definitions of each vow. So it is very beautiful. We will see it in detail next time, because I think this is time for your questions. And below we will see the definition of the vows in Tattvārthasūtra, of course. I wanted to tell you, I have promised to tell you something, and I will try to catch this promise. There is a very close sutra. I mean, there are different sutra which are very related to the Sutra 34 that we studied today, of the chapter 2 that we just saw. It is the sutra in Tattvārthasūtra, which is where is it? It's in the chapter 7. Indeed, I will tell you, avrata indriya kashaya kriya. Avrata indriya kashaya kriya. Just below, it is mridu. It is mridu madhya. No, it is tivra manda, jnata jnata, bhava viryadikarana, visheshair tad vishesha, jiva jivadikarana, and then adyam, samaramba, samaramba, yoga, krita karita anumata, kashaya, and then 3 chatur, 3 chatur bheda chekasha. We have to write it properly. I will write it for you properly so that it is more easy. Just to tell you, in the chapter in the chapter It's in which chapter? Sorry, it's in the chapter 6. It is explaining you. It is very much close from this chapter 34. It is explaining you all the types of action which are realized under the control of the soul, which can be responsible of this breaking of the vrata. So sorry, it's a little bit complicated. I will have to explain you more in details next time. But these sutra are very in the future research. In case you do Sanskrit research one day, and you do research in Tattvārthasūtra and Yoga-sūtra, you will be very helped to know that this sutra are very, very closely related in the concept that they are giving. So now I will give you some space for the questions, if you want. What would be your questions? Thank you so much for a beautiful question. What is this Michami Dokaram? What is this Uttam Kshama? So we will talk this in length next time. We want indeed to say Uttam Kshama and Michami Dokaram. That means I want to say that I hope I did not hurt anybody by saying anything, and that I have not misinterpreted the wisdom of the great sages, which are great guru. I bow down to them and express a lot of thankfulness for all this great guru, and for all the people and all the beauty of all the virtues of all the living being of the creation. So see you soon. Pranam.